Thanks very much, Adam. Yes, it's true. I first joined the ICAN community while I was working on the African Coastal and Marine Atlas. So it feels very nice to be back and wearing a slightly different hat this time though. So I'll be presenting a very short presentation. This is not about an atlas itself, but it's about the IOC Ocean InfoHub Project, which is supporting some atlas development and is supporting exchange of marine data, including spatial data and maps. So the project, as I mentioned, is a global initiative to improve access to marine and coastal data and information. The OIH project is running for 3 years. It started in April last year, and it's funded by the Government of Flanders, Kingdom of Belgium. The objective of the project is to develop interoperability between existing information systems and thus improve the flow of information to end users. A global ocean data and information system architecture will be developed to enable interoperability with local, regional, and thematic infrastructures. The presentation that follows mine will go into this ODIS architecture in a lot more detail, and that's presented by Pierluigi. The services that this infrastructure may support include finding specific expertise, finding vessel-based training opportunities, peer-to-peer collaboration, finding data and information or spatial data, and metadata. The project is first working with IOC related and associated online resources, including OceanExpert, AquaDocs, the Ocean Best Practices System, the Ocean Biodiversity Information System, the World Ocean Database, and several other partners, including Euroocean and marinetraining.eu. The initial data types that project partners identified as ones they would like to work with include people and institutions, documents, spatial data and maps, training opportunities, vessels, and projects. And these are all data categories within the ODIS catalog of data sources, if people are familiar with the ODIS CAT project. And of course, the spatial data and maps category is particularly relevant to today. We work, although it's a global project, in 3 pilot regions, those being Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean region, and the Pacific small island developing states. Some activities to date have been setting up really dynamic technical working groups. We've developed documentation for all 6 of those priority themes, and you'll be hearing from Doug Phils a little bit on that later today in the session as well. We've developed proof of concept for the ODIS architecture, and we have the 3 regional communities of practice working on implementing 1 or more of the patterns. And then of particular relevance community is that, as I mentioned, the next presentation will give more detail on the ocean data and information system. One of our priority patterns, that one on spatial data and maps as a subset of documents, will be presented by Doug. And then thirdly, if anyone is interested in the documentation and interested in implementing it themselves, we're hosting a course on the Ocean Teacher Global Academy platform in the last week of October. It's free, obviously, it's asynchronous, and so you can run through the course in your own time, and this will be on implementing ODIS. I'll put the link to the course and my contact details into the chat once the presentation is finished. And then finally, we're also working with IOC Africa and others in the ICAN community. Big thanks to Tanya, to update and revitalize the African Coastal and Marine Atlas. And that will be with many participants and panelists like Anya as part of the ICAN community. So that's my brief presentation. Thanks, Adam.
Super, thank you, Lucy. Are there any questions for Lucy at this stage, just on Ocean InfoHub? Before we move on to look at a particular use case. No questions just at the moment. So I think maybe we'll